In progress.
It's Thursday, August 3rd. Sleepers Podcast returns. Carter's in a good mood today, as you can hear.
Oh, of course. Honestly, I'm really starting to get like in the good little groove here, I guess. I'm not a morning person for people who don't know. Like dangerously not a morning person. So I'm starting to get in a little groove right here. Kind of like this.
Yeah, it's why you and I work well together as a pair for like road trips, is because neither of us have intentions to do anything in the morning, and we complement each other well in that.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be a problem if one of us was like pushing to like, we got to get on the road, we got to do some stuff, and you and I would be in West Lafayette needing to go to Bloomington the next day. It's like, oh yeah, we can get out by like 1 p.m. It's okay.
Yeah. We'll make it. We'll be okay. Traffic will be bad. Traffic won't be bad.
It'll be all right. But yeah, you have hit a rhythm. You have moved from very often saying we're going to record at 9 to getting a text from you at like 9:10 that's like beyond in 5, or like just about to shower, to now I get at 8:58 every day. Coffee then on.
It's getting a lot better, folks. It might move towards like 8:30, like I'm on just waiting. So
just wait until you get fruit and you run a mile before 8:30. That's when you really know you're in a rhythm. Crazy life we live. Crazy day yesterday. Again, another good day on the channel. Appreciate everybody. The support has been big time this week. We can feel the love, and I think our episodes are getting better too. Just selfishly from my perspective, I think we found a rhythm, just like Carter has in the mornings. We found a rhythm with this very show. We got 40 comments today. We're going to read them all, Cart, because that's what we do. Blue Collar Podcast. Here we go. And then after this, we have some exciting topics I'm really excited to talk about today. Kansas got a big pickup, one that we talked about a couple weeks ago. There's a bunch of videos flying around from Illinois basketball as they head to Spain today. Brad Underwood was interviewed, and we have more visual clips of what these players look like than ever before. Of course, we have to talk about that. And the best player in high school basketball is cooking Bradley Beal, apparently, and that's hilarious. So all three of those will come later in the show. But first, 40 comments, starting with Duran Jarvis, 8630, says Kentucky offense looks way more fluid already the past 2 seasons. It's been throw the ball to Oscar. That's why the offense got stagnant more often than not. This team will be a more modern offensive team, more threes stretching the floor for the guards, have room to dribble drive. You like that, Cart?
I do like that, but it pains me deep inside because, it always seems to come back to the big man. People want to blame the big man for not being a part of the modern game. Oscar, National Player of the Year, not good enough. Edie, National Player of the Year, he's just not good enough because he stalls us out. He's not modern enough. That narrative irks me a little bit, but I guess it's somewhat true. But let's just say though that it's not always greener. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. Okay, losing an All-American type guy is not always the best move. And shit, even Illinois fans with the whole "we lose Kofi, we're better now" type thing. Like sometimes that stuff irks me.
It's not a good thing to not have a National Player of the Year anymore.
I'd rather have one. Me personally, I don't know. I might be an alien, but that's what I'd rather have.
Hey, to each their own. I'm buying in general, like this is good for Kentucky. They're going to have shot blocking and shooting from the front court position for the first time in a long time. But I do think Cart's right. It's hilarious that no matter, I think it's big men and guards. I don't think it's just big men, but whoever the problem is, like the problem always becomes a player that's leaving with every team. Ask North Carolina fans, right? Ask Michigan fans right now. Anyone will point to whoever the problem is, and it's somebody that's walking out the door. It's not always true. Guys are good basketball players, even if they come with some downsides. Sheboy was definitely that. Michael Mann, 2171, says, appreciate the effort, fellas. Love the show and look forward to it every day. Michael, thank you for that dose of positivity. We love you, my friend. It's always good to see your name in the comments section. Steve Dunn, 5353, says, hey, guys. First, I've basically been waiting for this show's format to become a thing since forever, so thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. That means a lot. I've always been curious as to what Tom Izzo's true feelings are towards Coach Cal and UK's program. Any insight?
I don't have any insight on that, to be honest, but I truly think that Izzo is one of those coaches, at least to me, doesn't really have actual, beef inside with like any coach, at least not a beef to a certain point where it's like, I know some coaches actually despise each other. And like, we can tell, like we've been in settings where coaches have been in the same area, the same spots, and like, they won't even make eye contact, head nod, like even fake handshake type thing. I don't really know if Izzo has that as a coaching counterpoint. I feel like he respects Coach Cal.
Yeah, I think Izzo's more of like a respect greats guy than anything.
Yeah.
I think from my dealings with Tom, which it's been a while, but like I did go to high school with his kids and was around that social circle a little bit. From my dealings of just seeing him behind the scenes, I think he's a guy who like in private would make jokes at some of those guys' expense. Like he doesn't like the way guys do things. So he'd joke about like Cal dropping the bag or he'd joke about things like that. But in reality, like he really respects, I think, any of the great coaches and what they've done. Like he respected Coach K. I think he really respects Cal. So now if you coach at Michigan, there is no respect from Tom Izzo. However, he did cross that threshold with John Beeline. It just took him like 10 years to get there. Once he realized that Beeline was actually like a great, then he was like, okay, this is great for the rivalry. And I'm going to talk about how I hate you, but I also really like you.
You don't think he respects Juwan?
No.
Hmm.
No, I don't. I think Juwan's done a lot to deserve a lack of respect from Tom Izzo also, to be honest. But
Oh,
yeah, that's my personal insight. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Who knows? Nate Rhodes 5397 says, "Hey guys, new to listening and love the show. Thanks for being here. I'm curious as to when both of you think the Big Ten will bring home a March Madness national championship. It's been 23 years since the Big Ten team won it. Hashtag go green. We've had 7 opportunities since then. I'm convinced Michigan should have a banner from 2013 if the refs call a clean block instead of a foul on Trey Burke. So when will the Big Ten hoist another championship banner?" First of all, Nate, it takes a lot of stuff from you as a Michigan State fan to say Michigan should have had a banner in 2013 and the block was clean. I appreciate that, my friend. I don't know when they're going to have a banner card. It seems like it's kind of far away given the current state of the Big Ten.
I don't know, because I went on record, I think a couple episodes, or actually it was a good amount of time ago, that I think it would be within the next 3 to 5 years is that the Big Ten is going to get one. And, yes, I am banking that some things go some ways for Michigan State and that they maybe are one of those teams that has a chance to do it. But I think that, with the addition also of other teams being added to the Big Ten, that'll give us, obviously more of a chance. I like USC. I think they have the means to be a good basketball team. It'd be crazy if they won a national championship. Just thinking about that in my head, USC winning a national basketball championship. But I truly think that the Big Ten is going to get over that hump, and it's going to be like in the next 3 to 5 years.
I think stepping back broadly with like, can this team win a national championship? To me, it's more about the coach than anything, or it's just like how the coach runs the program. Like the Big Ten 10 years ago, I think had 6 different programs that could have won a title. Like you could have told me Beeline was going to do it. You could have told me Thad Matta was going to do it at Ohio State. You could have told me Bo Ryan was going to do it at Wisconsin. Like all of those guys, I'm buying. Right now, it doesn't necessarily feel that way. Like I think Izzo has to be the hope. It's hard to say that Painter could do it as much as I love Purdue. Like he needs to get there.
You also think there's going to be a coaching changing of the guard coming like in the next 3 to 5 years as
They
well?
need some star power.
The Selfs are going to be gone, and
Yeah, I don't know though. It's just like whenever Self leaves, like they're gonna get another stud blue blood type coach in, right? And like Cal's gonna leave, but Kentucky's gonna do this. Like I'm just looking at the Big Ten. Like Greg Gard's gonna be here for forever. Greg Gard's not winning a national title. Kevin Willard, who knows how long he's gonna be at Maryland? They'll be good. He's never gonna win a national title. Like the best argument you can make for the Big Ten for me outside of Tom Izzo is like, can you talk yourself into Mike Woodson or Juwan Howard figuring it out? Maybe they just have like
I talked myself into Holtman before that.
See, and I love Chris Holtman. Don't get me wrong. Like I love everything he's doing at Ohio State. I think he has a long way to go to be like that guy's going to win national titles. So,
but doesn't it only take one run for you to be convinced that that guy can get it done? Like for a national title, like Hurley did it this year with UConn. It just took that one run.
It's true. I mean, it can all change in a year. I think, but I think the profiles of the guys these teams recruit to me, like Greg Gard doesn't recruit players that are going to be good enough for one run. Like Kevin Willard, maybe. I don't know. Holtman definitely recruits good enough.
Gosh, yes. Okay, so that's where you're coming, like with the Woodson.
Yeah,
it's like as much shit as we do give Woodson, as far as recruiting wise, like he gets guys that I think can be talent enough to win it. I just don't have faith in him personally that he can put it together.
Yeah, Woodson and Painter to me have had rosters that could have made a national title game. Honestly, Juwan Howard has. That team with Livers probably would have had a really good shot at making a national championship game if Livers wasn't hurt and Brandon Johns was starting. So we'll see. Long way to go. I would not say it happens in the next 5 years, though. If that's the bar, I'm taking outside of the 5-year span. Kriegel Buckets says, need to see you guys play in a Gus Macker this summer. That would be fun.
Yeah. Have you played in Gus Macker before?
I've never played in a Macker. I've always wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, I played in 2 before. It's interesting basketball for sure. But I kind of like it. It's not Mackers aren't very big man friendly, let's just say.
See, I always assumed they're not shooter friendly because I hate playing outside.
Well, I guess the elements do kind of play a factor, but it's just the court's clogged, it's tough to do. But guys, one quick Macker story here. My very first Macker, I played with Zach Hurth and some other teammates at Albion, Eric Evans and Lucas Marble for the Albion folks out there. And we weren't supposed to have a game early in the morning, so we were in Ludington and we had ourselves a night at some bar with sharks in a fishbowl or something. Our game got moved to 9. Unfortunately, 2015, 2016 Carter, he was still inebriated at his 3-on-3 game. And I put on a clinic. And the shot selection was terrible. And Zach Hurth can, vouch for me on this. He actually sat out the game with a groin injury. But I was special. Okay. And I had the crowd involved at 9 a.m. It was a moment.
I think if drunk hoops were a thing, you would be a first-round pick. And I think I would be up there, honestly, too, from my one experience hooping against you when I was drunk. Macker would be fun. I have one quick outside basketball story. It wasn't a Macker, but the highlight of my basketball playing career is that I won a 3-on-3 tournament at Court 1 in Lansing, like a bracketed tournament on a weekend. And in the championship game, the team that I beat was Denzel Valentine, Bryn Forbes, and Anthony Clements. AKA Sack.
What age was this?
This was my junior year of high school at Court 1. So
they were your team?
Me, Roby, and I think Zach was playing with us. Me, Roby, Z. Yeah, against big moment. They were pissed too because their dad, Coach V, was running everything, and he had to announce us as winners on the microphone. It was hilarious. It was funny.
It probably motivated them to be better going into that. They won a state championship that next year, went to Michigan State, did all that.
You
sparked it.
You catch an elbow and an L from Roby, that'll change your work ethic real quick. Spartan Marinelli 87.5 says Greg doesn't seem to understand that these players get better year to year. Getting a top player to come back in the portal era is huge, and it makes your team better. Duh. It does. I'm definitely not arguing that it doesn't make the team better to get your players back. But again, if your plan A was just get your players back, then I would evaluate your offseason based on you getting the players back. These teams that got players back that also whiffed on their plan A is what I'm evaluating them on. That's the difference. Brian Perry, 3025, says what may be the best offseason move was adding 2 new assistants, mostly John Welch from the NBA to assist with the X's and O's that Cal has been needing. This could improve the team over the next 5 years. Plus, versus one player that may be gone next year, that should factor into the grade. I think they did a good job with the staff. I'll just say that. I think you probably feel the same. Yeah.
Because I think the one thing, and it gets a little overblown to me. I think it's more of a funny narrative, but Cal, running the same stuff that he's always run his whole coaching career. Yes, there is some truth to it. So, with the addition of guys that do X's and O's stuff, I think that, obviously that'll help.
Yeah, I do just want to say I think the offensive stuff gets a little overblown with Cal. I don't think he's a great X's and O's guy by any means, but they were 17th in the country offensively last year, and we're acting like the dude can't coach offense at all.
People love to use that. X's and O's is one of those I don't know, coaching buzzwords. Oh, great coach, great recruiter. Is he good X's and O's guy?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I feel like it's a fallback plan too much. There is some truth to it, but I feel like it gets overblown a little bit too much.
Yeah. Scott Gregory 8015 says Ivisic makes Kentucky way more dangerous than had it succeeded getting Dickinson. It's rare to fail and rebound with an even better option, but that's what Cal did. Avicic may be the best big man prospect in college basketball this year. That's what Kentucky got in the 12th hour. I think you're right. He may be the best prospect. He's not a better college basketball player than Hunter Dickinson, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. The difference is here is that you know what you're getting with Hunter. Like, as much as we're excited about Avicic and what he could do at Kentucky, he does have a floor, and his floor is not Hunter Dickinson's floor.
Yeah, and I just, from experience here, as someone who, again, there's a lot of benefits to not having Hunter on your team. I'm kind of excited about that. Your team would have been better with Hunter. Like your team would have been a no-brainer top 2-3 team in the country, in my opinion, if Hunter was your center. Andy Grickman says, new to your podcast, love your format and content. Thank you, Andy. We appreciate you being here. Tanner Hessling says, couple of hot takes for the upcoming college basketball season. First, Colorado finishes in the top 10 at the end of the year. Give me a quick 1 to 5 stars on that, Carter. 1 star being horrible, 5 stars meaning sure.
Honestly, 4 stars. They got some guys. They got some NBA talent on that team, and they got some older guys coming back. I'm like in on Colorado, honestly.
Good start, Tanner. Number 2, Quincy Guerrier is Brady Manic light for Illinois, and they finally make the Elite Eight.
I'll talk about Quincy Guerrier later in the episode.
3, Terrace Reed becomes a monster at Michigan.
5-star take.
I think that's good too. Tanner, a couple good takes from you today, and a third that we will address later in the show. Reese Williams 91 says, what do you guys think is a fair punishment for last place in a fantasy football league? Did you see the guy who had to take 7 consecutive flights?
Yeah, that's crazy. Did he have to pay for 7 consecutive flights?
I assume so, yeah. I just wouldn't do the league if that was on the table.
Yeah, no, there's no. But also, you're like a fantasy football like connoisseur. Like, you don't come. Have you ever come last in a fantasy football league?
I don't come in last. No, I don't. Not in football. Fantasy basketball is different because I check out. Daily lineups is too much. But yeah, I'm pretty good at fantasy football. Not that that's something to be proud of being good at, but it's a revenue stream for the Whitehall family lately. Yeah. I think I've always liked the pancakes one, which we did with you one time. Pretty much, we said you had to eat a pancake for every point that UCLA beat Gonzaga by.
Yeah, I think so. Or that Gonzaga didn't beat UCLA by. I said they were going to beat them by 10, and they only won by, 3? Yeah, 3.
You had to eat like 40 pancakes. Shout out to Kodiak Cakes. We have it all on camera.
Protein pancakes. Just an awful decision. I love protein pancakes, but if you're trying to throw back 40 of them, yeah, I didn't eat for a couple days after that.
It was a top 3 night in Sleepers history. I think we need something new that's like that. Like, it's just, you got to go somewhere and do something that's not horrible, but it's annoying, and you're stuck there for 12 hours unless you power through. Those are the good takes to me. Yeah. Okay. Jacob Anderson 1810 says, in your opinions, what are the top 5 home court advantages in the Big Ten? I'm excited for your answer on this one.
Mackey's one. Mackey's one, 100%. Maybe a sleeper pick is Kohl Center too, just because it's such a weird place. Like, it's weird. It's just a weird environment, weird place. It's kind of chilly in there. I don't know. It's just the vibe is just off. Where I feel like it's hard to hoop. It gets like that 8 a.m. AAU game feeling that like maybe you don't want to be there.
I can say this. As a Caucasian man that went into battle with an African-American man, I did not feel welcome in the Kohl Center. And I can see how that would apply to being an opposing player as well. I don't think we saw Kohl at its strongest, though.
Yeah, true. I'll go Breslin 3, Indiana 4, and 5. I don't know why I feel like I'm missing one.
Illinois.
Yeah, I'll go 5, Illinois.
I would go Mackey's the clear 1. I would go Assembly Hall Bloomington 2. I think the Breslin's 3, but we haven't really experienced the Breslin in like an intimidating way because of where they stick their media. Like, I almost want to just go as a fan again and remember what it's like.
Bloomington was wild. I didn't understand what Bloomington. The whole Indiana basketball means more down here. I did not understand that. That's crazy.
Bloomington was my second favorite trip, I think, because it was so different going to Assembly Hall than going to any of the other gyms.
Yeah, like and town included too. Like downtown Bloomington on game day for basketball games.
Yeah. Also, Sean Miller destroyed our morale that afternoon. It still eats me up about it. Good question though. Thank you to Jacob for that question. Clayton, our boy, says one last question: if Michigan I'm sorry. I spun this around because I'm reading it in order on the YouTube. We got to read his last question last. Let's do his first question first. He says, thanks for the shout out. Love the daily pods. Keep up the great work. We will, Clayton. Thank you. I know you both have expressed opinions on Dre Lawhorn for the Illini. Just curious on your take of Hansberry. I think he's flying under the radar and may surprise people next year. What do you like about Hansberry?
I like Hansberry, but I just don't know where his minutes come from necessarily. Like, I think with Coleman still in the fold, obviously Dane too as well, and then Damask and Guerrier. I mean, I really don't know. From what I've seen from him, I don't know if he can play three. So basically, he's got to find a way to kind of play either undersized, 5 or the 4 position. Talent's there, but I just don't know where his minutes are necessarily going to come from.
I think he emerges. Maybe not like from day one, but I think by the end of year one, I think he is a serious contributor for Illinois in the front court.
I'm not making mistakes. Is he 6'9"?
I was gonna say 6'8" for some reason, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
All right, yeah. So like maybe he's got to be in that 3. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen enough to be like that guy can be a 3. He just strikes me as a straight college 4.
I wouldn't play him at the 3. I think he's just an undersized big, but a good one. But in my head, even if he's 6'11", in my head he's 6'8". So run with that. Second question from Clayton. Last question: if Michigan misses the NCAA tourney this year, is Howard's job in jeopardy, or is he safe for another season? It all depends on what the young guys look like. I've said this a couple times. Like I don't think this is a Juwan needs to do any accomplishment to save his job season. I think that would come next year if they miss the tournament. It's more about like, is Doug McDaniel developing, and is he going to be here for 2 more years? Is Terrace Reed developing? Is Namari Burnett a piece? Like if those 3 look good, even if this is another bad year, and you have that 3 as a core, I think as long as you feel good about them and they feel good about Michigan and they come back, it's still Juwan's job. If he wants it, the question is, does he want it? I'm skeptical Juwan Howard wants to be in Ann Arbor a calendar year from now. So
if they miss the tournament this year, he's gone.
If he's gone and they miss the tournament, or they don't miss, if he's gone, I think it's him leaving. I don't think it's he's getting fired. I think he just leaves.
Really? Okay.
That's my stance.
I just don't see a world where y'all miss the tournament this year and like Doug and Terrace don't look for other options.
Yeah. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that's true.
2 straight years missing a tournament?
At that point, they don't know what it's like to be in the tournament. Like, and it's those 2 guys just want to be the face of the team. Doug and Terrace are both going to get 30 minutes this year. If they're good, it's because of them. If they're bad, it's because of them. They got to own that, not run from it. We'll see. Stephen Pearsall says, Illinois fan here who has rational expectations for next season. Question for body language expert Greg. When should we be looking for teammate fatigue this season? A, the preseason trip to Spain. B, tough non-conference game at Tennessee. C, road game at Penn State. D, sleeper's trip to Champaign. I think the
greatest comment ever, just you being referred to as the body language expert.
So the key word here is fatigue, because fatigue means some of the public praise and happy teammate behavior starts to get a little tiresome and starts to dissipate, right? If you'll notice right now, we are in peak everybody gassing each other up mode. We got Ty Rodgers giving long comments about Dre Gibbs Lawhorn and Dre like publicly commenting, hell yeah. We got Terrence Shannon quote tweeting and saying Luke Goody is the best shooter in the Big Ten right now. Hell yeah. Like this whole team is in you got this buddy mode to each other. I think that wears off about 5 games into the season. I don't know when the non-conference game at Tennessee is, but I think all that positivity stuff starts to go down when certain guys realize they're not starters on this team. Certain guys realize they're only playing 10 minutes because the freshman is actually playing 30 minutes and taking all the shots. So yeah, I would say midway through non-conference, and then I think there will be an inciting incident, much like there was last year when we had the walk out of the Texas game after the magical win and a certain person had his head down. I think there will be an inciting incident in a big non-conference game. That'll be my moment, Stephen. Great question. Thank you for that. Malik Perry says Kenny is good, but there's other kids in 2025 I would want as well. You got anybody else in that class you love, Cart?
Harrelson is a future top 10 draft pick, and I want him so bad.
After 4 years at Michigan State, or is he taking the 5th year?
He is one and done.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've been watching the tape. I think he probably needs 2.
F off. I need him bad.
I'm
Real
sorry.
bad.
I figured that was the stance. That seems to be the across the board stance. Yeah, he's good. You guys are in a very healthy spot. Kurtang's awesome too. He's not 25, but Michigan State's in such a good spot. Uh, you got anything else there? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say that Harrelson just transferred to Lou, which makes me feel a lot better too, because he was at Fisher's, which is like basically right outside of Bloomington. Like, so I'm getting him farther away. I like the Michigan State Lou relationship.
I think you're getting Harrelson. I really do. I think you got all the momentum in the world. We'll see. Straight Facts says, thing is, guys didn't want to come to Kentucky this year out of the portal because of the class they have coming in. Say what you want, but I believe that played a huge role in that. Honestly, I think Cal straight up got even better guys than who he missed on. He has a better big with Zvonimir than Dickinson. And then a long comment that went into Arthur Kaluma as well. Thanks for the comment, Straight Facts. First of all, thanks for listening and watching. He's not better than Dickinson. I'm sorry. We already addressed that. And two, I think you're right. Like, there is an argument definitely that Kentucky can't get stars in the portal because they're worried about star freshmen. I just don't buy that fully because I think Cal is too good of a recruiter for that. Like, and you can argue like, is Edwards a better player than Arthur Kaluma? I don't know. We'll have to see. But like, I think Cal should go get the best players, is my point. Like, does he need Rob Dillingham more than he needs Max Asmus? Probably not. Go get Max Asmus. Like,
Go get them and see if those freshmen still want to come. Like that's
right.
why freshmen right now are like there's freshmen that right before they get on campus are like, maybe the situation's not for me.
And it's not a criticism of Cal necessarily. It's more coming from a place of praise. I think Cal should be totally dominating this landscape. Like, if you told me 5 years ago, this is what the sport now is, I would have said Kentucky wins every national title. Cal's going to pay players. He's going to do it better than anybody else, and they're going to be dominant. And that hasn't come to fruition because he's still just tripling down on the 5-star freshman model, which, quite frankly, I don't think you can win national championships with just freshmen. At least in this little 4-year window, when every other team in the Final Four has 26-year-old guys playing, I think you need a little bit of a balance. C. Schmide 2079 says, hypothetical, which school in the greater Midwest that is not in the Big Ten that would be the best cultural fit in the Big Ten if they were to do future expansion based on geography? I think we kind of said this yesterday. I want Notre Dame in.
Notre Dame, yeah, I would agree with that too.
Yeah. Coy says Dre Gibbs Lawhorn as the starting point guard for the Illini is picking up steam, assuming no drama. If Illinois gets Braden Smith quality of play out of DGL, how do we feel? More on that later in the show, but I could not hate the Braden Smith Dre Gibbs Lawhorn comparison more. There are not more opposite.
I don't know if it's comparison as much as like what if the output is the same between like you take Braden Smith's freshman year stats and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn. That's what he does this year.
Okay.
You're ecstatic, aren't you?
I mean, what if we get Iggy Brasdakis production out of Terrence Williams this year? Like, they're just, what are we doing? It makes there's no comparison. Chase T says Battle for Atlanta schedule is out. Could definitely see Michigan winning 2 games. Yeah, they got a good draw, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even if they don't win the Memphis game, I think they're probably the favorite in the next 2. So
did you get a chance to peep any of the Memphis highlights from their game? The overseas game they played?
Very little, but yeah. And box score reading too. Caleb Mills was good.
Yeah, it was hilarious because it looked like a team that like full of AAU players that like hadn't played on the same team all summer. And like 20 minutes before the tournament, they're like, "Hey, you guys want to run in this tournament together?" Like they got some talent, but they just didn't even look like they knew each other.
Yeah, I hope they look like that at the Battle for Atlantis too. I think there's a chance they might, to be honest. C. Schmide again says, do you guys plan on going to the Champions Classic this year? I would love to. We have talked about it. We do not have anything firmed up yet, mostly because we need to figure out what some of our actual organizational structures will be for the Sleepers this year. We have some conversations to be had in August that could line up some very fun things for us.
Behind the scenes Sleepers insight for everyone out there. We're a pod with a plan. We're a blue collar pod, but we're also a pod with a plan. We put things out there. We got a vision.
Yeah, I can
make it happen.
I can put a collared shirt on occasionally, and I can get in front of a whiteboard and do some things. So we'll see what happens. Lucas says, would you rather go to a full WNBA game once a week for the rest of your life, or your rival wins every game against your team for the rest of your life? That's easy for me. I don't want my rival beating my team every time they play. ever again. And I don't mind going to women's basketball games at all. Like I would
Yeah,
like
me
that.
either. That's you might need to take an inner look at that question. I don't know what you're insinuating by that, but I had no problem watching a WNBA game.
Yeah, not at all. Sorry, Lucas. Curtis Sidebottom says, so you said in the video that you just can't give a team credit for getting players back from last year's team, but I've watched other grade videos and hypothetically, nice, Curtis, you gave both Purdue and Marquette A grades, all because of the fact that the players they brought back from last year's team, LOL. Appreciate this comment. You are correct. I think I addressed this earlier in the video, but again, every single team we recorded for, I stepped back and said, what did they try to do this offseason? If they successfully did that, they got a good grade from me. Purdue and Marquette were top 10 teams in the country last year. Their entire plan this offseason was not to go get new players. Purdue's plan A was we need to convince Zach Edey to come back and get enough money to bring him back. They did that. They bring everyone back. They did what they set out to do. Marquette, I disagreed, and I said this in the video. I disagreed. I think they should have tried to get someone, but the fact is they didn't try. Shaka Smart didn't fail because he just wanted to run his team back. Illinois failed. They tried to get a point guard and didn't. Okay. Kentucky failed. They tried to get a center and didn't, and then they did, and that's why I updated the grade. It comes down to, did you do what you tried to do? Yes or no? Hopefully that makes sense. I understand it sounds like it's all over the place, but in my head, it's very clear. And my head is messed up, Curtis. Thank you for the comment. M Gers 75 says, right now, the problem with the offseason grades vids are the timing. You feel the 68 guys need to realize there's probably still another portal wave coming right before fall semester starts. So the teams you did early and graded high could still have a bad offseason. Yeah, that's true. The truth is we're not going to make 50 videos in a week. So we needed to start that in July. And also not to pat myself on the back for it, but that was my brainchild from a meeting with Rob and Jeff where they were like, what are we going to do the rest of the summer? And I was like, well, I'm going to do off-season grades, TikToks. And they were like, well, should we just do YouTube videos? And I was like, probably. So there you go. Sorry that people seem to not love those. Aiden Tree says, what are the odds Xavier Booker has a senior Marcus Bingham impact next year? They're pretty similar in size, and Booker seems more coordinated and athletic. I think that would be a worst case scenario for Xavier Booker, Cart.
Yeah, I do too. I think we're like we've mentioned this before. People are setting the bar way. We need to stop treating Xavier Booker like he's a borderline top 100 recruit. This kid is super talented. His ceiling is way up there. We need to stop acting like he's not super talented. Like I get it. I get like the the narrative that yes, he might lack a little bit of motor and he might lack a little bit of things defensively. But let's not act like this kid is not super talented. If he has a Marcus Bingham type senior year, like we should not be happy.
Yeah, the scary part about that comp or just the comp in general to me would be the motor, maybe. Like there have been questions with Xavier Booker's motor. There certainly were questions with Marcus Bingham's ability to play hard.
We were masking Marcus Bingham wasn't a motor, it was Fieldhouse.
Correct. That would scare me with Xavier Booker is all I'm saying. Like I guess we don't know that yet, but like Xavier Booker, from all we know about him, seems like the type of guy who would show up to East Lansing and be like, yo, have you seen Rama? Like, it's just, hey, nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed my 4 years very much. I also wasn't a starter on a team trying to win a national championship. So we'll see what happens. Most importantly, though, Cart, they got some good wieners.
Can I ask you one spinoff question real quick and you answer this really quickly?
Yeah.
In your 4 years of Michigan State, what basketball player did you see out the most?
Ooh, that's a great question. Quite a few, to be honest. I don't want to give us too much credit, but I lived with the same group of people for the last 3 years of college. We had an apartment a couple of years, and then we had a house, and we were frequent party hosters. I would say this was back in like the Facebook era where like there were Facebook invites for events. And our invites would make their way around a little bit, and we frequently would have players show up on like a Friday or Saturday night to our house. So Keith was a big one. Keith was there very much. Zell too, but like Zell doesn't really count because we we knew Zell a little bit,
right.
So
Okay. All right.
I would say Keith. I would say Keith. Keith was often high in the corner of my apartment.
If you ask any Albion student, they would say Carter Elliott.
It's true.
Let that be known.
Let's hope. Let's hope that Carter doesn't go on to murder someone.
Okay. Next comment.
Okay, moving on. Keith Johnson, 32, says, I entered my 65-year-old dad in the Moneyball 3-point shootout. Please wish him luck. Good luck, Mr. Johnson.
Good luck, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I hope you would fare better than Carter would in that event, to be honest. Are you doing your men's league 3-point shootout, by the way?
I don't know if I'm in. I know I'm in the All-Star game. I don't know if I'm in the 3-point contest. If I can enter, I'm doing it.
They don't have a dunk contest?
They used to, but not enough people can dunk in the league now.
If they had a dunk contest, would you be in it?
I mean, I can't do anything sweet. I can just dunk the basketball.
It seems like you could be in the dunk contest then. Just saying. I would like you to find a way to live stream your All-Star game. I'm expecting a show.
I can see what I can do.
I know there's clips. I know they end up on YouTube because you send them to me. I
would
like to get that.
I don't know if they record. I don't know if they record the All-Star game or not. But if they do, I will. I'll be sure to send you clips. Honestly, I'm gonna send you all the clips from this year, and I might have to you get a free moment, put have you seen that TikTok trend where it's fuck it, Carter Elliott highlights, and it's
yes,
yeah, I might need that.
Send me what you got. I'll cook something up. I'm ready. Yes. We're long overdue for every 6 months there's a new Carter Elliott video that drops. Last year was your decision to stay with Sleepers Media. This year it can be your highlights. Send me what you got. I'll work on it. Fam, our boy Fam, says, I was going to take the week off for being so obviously Caucasian, but as a commenter, my number's been called. Being Caucasian, I present hashtag golf tips for Mr. Yips. For fastest improvement, it's an inside-out game, young fella. Chipping and putting should be solid before anything else. Never decel on any chip. Throw a hula hoop outside. Drop 10 balls in the yard. Trying to make all 10 hit to sharpen the skills. Putting, everything breaks toward the water, away from the hills. Putt to the line, never the hole. Those are some great tips from Fam.
Those are some great tips. But I mean, you saw. I feel like short game is not really the biggest issue for me though.
Yeah, I don't think people truly understand. They probably think we're exaggerating because we do exaggerate a lot. But Carter's current issue pre getting the club fitting is that he literally just can't square up a ball cleanly anywhere, whether it's driver, whether it's iron, whether it's wood, hybrid, putter, it doesn't matter. And that's not been the case. You have never had that issue. And we played a full golf round and I think you hit one shot cleanly the entire time. So,
and usually when I get up to the green eventually, because I can't square a damn shot, I'm not just hitting 9 putts or 5 putts. I'm definitely 3 putting some. Let's not get it twisted, but I'm pretty solid, reading the line and having, solid speed. My putting's really not that bad. Either it's chipping, to be honest.
Yeah. You were reading my putts for me that round.
Yeah, we were in hell. I was trying to be your caddy.
I played golf yesterday. Round got cut short because of a scary phone call, by the way, but I played horrible. So I think whatever I had last week, I've lost, and your yips have rubbed off on me. I'm scared about it.
Sorry.
Oh, well. Back to Emgers says, when my team loses a recruit that matters, I like to vent online with humor. It may come off as mean or a sore loser, but I say what I want and move on immediately. I always try to avoid the "we didn't want you anyways, you're not good enough" simp response. That's a healthy behavioral pattern, Emgers.
I respect that. People need to take that to heart.
Yeah, you need to teach people how to do that. Keith is back. He says, Greg's offseason ratings are spot on. Keith, knew I loved you. People need to remember these are not overall team grades. This is, did the team do what they needed to do in the offseason? If they had one goal, they missed it. That's a fail. Also, Carter's on point with the black coffee take. Keith, I'm glad I'm making sense to somebody out there. That warms my heart. Austin Gooden says top 10 non-conference matchups, including all Big Ten teams. Number 1 has to be Illinois, Florida Atlantic in the Garden, right? That's a good one. I'm very excited about that game. Are you buying Florida Atlantic, by the way? Some people are out on Florida Atlantic this year.
No, I'm still buying them because of them getting the pieces back.
Yeah, I think you say they had lost that game to Memphis in the first round, I would be buying Florida Atlantic pretty hard.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, we just been talking about all season grades this whole time. To me, and you can tell me differently if you heard something differently in other circles, Florida Atlantic's one thing was to make sure that they don't get poached. Mm-hmm. And they didn't get poached.
And they didn't. At all. Dusty May wanted to go back. That's crazy too.
And they got crazy. And they got some dogs on it, like Elijah Martin, dog. They
There
got some
was
time.
there was a 2-hour window on a Wednesday in I think June where I was really trying to talk myself into maybe Dusty May will come and bring his whole roster, and that could be Michigan next year. It was a really exciting world for me. Other game, I mean, the Champions Classic, I'm really excited for. I feel like Michigan State has a lot of marquee games as always. I'm excited.
That one against Baylor at LCA would be fun.
That'll be really fun. I think any of the preseason tournaments, I know that's kind of like a cop out, but that's what I look forward to most in the non-conference every year. And there's a lot of good ones involving Big Ten teams this year. So Purdue and Maui being one, that field is so loaded. Michigan, the battle for Atlantis, Michigan, Memphis will be fun. Lots to look forward to, Austin. Kevin Deaton says the video of the Kentucky Gray was clearly after Global Jam, which concluded on July 16th. It wasn't a month ago, LOL. Yeah, 3 weeks, a month. Yeah. Yeah. Fair point, Kevin. Jawara Jackson says, I commend you on the 7 a.m. dedication. What's the new over-under on daily straight pods? However, my elusive comment 23 from yesterday was victimized. Sorry for victimizing your comment. We apologize. What is the new over-under card? Is this 18 right now?
Yeah.
No, 19. This is 19th day in a row of Monday through Friday episodes.
I don't know. Something's got to happen eventually. I don't know. I'd set the new over under at like 26.
See, I don't think that's giving us enough credit given where we're at. We've made it so far during the month where nothing's happening. And then we had like one day of actual college basketball stuff happening, and we coincidentally had a bunch of views. So I think we're going to get into football season soon, and there's going to be stuff to talk about. And then we're going to get into basketball. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I would set the over-under at 50. Jawara, I think we're going to find ways to make this happen.
If we hit 50, we got to do something.
Her just hammered the under when I said 50 also. Ulamog says, how do you have the audacity to claim to be a blue-collar podcast? Carter going to Country Day is Terrence going to Cranbrook. G-Wizzy isn't better going to the same high school as Steven Izzo. Privileged. 3 people liked this comment also. I feel antagonized, Cart.
Yeah, I mean, blue collar is a mindset. It's about working hard. It's not about, I don't know, being privileged. Sorry, my parents sent me to private school. I'm not going to apologize for that, damn it.
Do you need to do the Jaden Ivey and cut your hair so that people stop saying you have granite countertops?
There's nothing more I despise than people who want to fake get it out the mud. Okay, I didn't have to be subjected to that. I'm not going to apologize for that. I didn't be subjected to that. It is what it is. Parents worked hard.
I think that's a fine line here for us is we don't pretend that we got it out the mud as people. We own who we are.
Like, I know where I'm from. That's why I don't say I'm from Detroit. I know where I'm. Like, someone else commented, like, you're talking about this guy's talking about Detroit. He's probably from Bloomfield or the suburbs. Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
that's where I always lived.
Yeah, but with that said, for 2 guys who have made real life careers out of working in tech, to be sitting next to Jeff Goodman at the Big Ten tournament on camera on Jeff Goodman's show and him passing off to us, I think we've done pretty well. We won't get outworked in this industry, Lamar. I don't care if we came from some nice places and not the mud. We will not get outworked. Leslie says, I've been listening regularly. I am not subscribing until you show some love to Indiana, though. That's fair, Leslie. You drive a hard bargain, first of all. We don't just get bought for love, though. We keep it real. That's kind of how we do things.
We love Bloomington.
Actually, we did. Yeah, we love Bloomington.
Yeah, we love Bloomington. And I think there's a little bit of love for IU's team. This is not a Mike Woodson podcast. It won't ever be. Sorry.
Knicks, Sink the Biz. My favorite thing that we did.
Wait, what was that? What was that appetizer we got at Knicks?
I didn't get much food there, I don't think. I just remember, all I remember is the pictures of Coors Light and our bartender teaching us Sink the Biz. That was so fun.
That was great. We also put a group of students under the table at Kilroy's in beer pong.
We did. I want to go back to Bloomington. Hopefully that counts, Leslie. Carter Velli says, if the Lakers failed to re-sign LeBron James, that doesn't affect the offseason? LOL. This guy is all over the place with his flawed logic. Bringing back vital players, especially in this portal and NIL climate, is most definitely important and factors in. How can we take the field of 68 seriously? Sorry, I mean, God, my voice just changed as I tried to get through that. Also, his final sentence, they need a concrete criteria and not just random opinions. Here's the interesting thing about how the Field of 68 works, Carter. Let me just pull back the curtain for you momentarily. We don't have a meeting every day where Jeff Goodman and Rob Doster tell us what we need to think. That's not how it works. I actually get paid to go on camera and provide my own opinions that are opinions. And I'm very clear that they are opinions. And some people actually like listening to those opinions, Carter. So no, I don't need concrete criteria for the offseason grades video series that I myself came up with for the Field of 68. Okay. I can go on those and say whatever I want. And yeah, I grade harshly. Sorry, that's not for clicks. It's because I don't like when teams say they're going to do something and don't do something. And your comparison to the NBA makes zero sense because college players are not contracted employees. Okay. It's not how it works. Carter, it's rare that I would tell someone to get out of my comments, but get out of my comments section, Carter. Get out of here.
I mean, that NBA, that Bron to resign, that's an insane reach of a comp. That's all. That's just bad.
Just hot garbage. And last comment, Darkness says, "Shut up, Rob," with a winky face. That's a really nice note to end on, Darkness. Thank you. Comment section, including Carter Velli. Great job today. That's a new high, 40 comments. Miraculously, we made our way through them, and I'm having fun with the comment section these days. Hey, remember, Riley Davis from Heat Check is back on the show tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Let's get into our segments today, Carter, starting with Cooper Flagg, the best high school basketball player in the country, unless you listen to the people who say AJ DiBsanta is or one of the Boozer twins are. I'm still confused on how it all works. For my money, Cooper Flagg's the best high school player in the country. Supposedly, he cooked Bradley Beal. Supposedly, hypothetically. Drew Hanlon claims this didn't happen. Drew Hanlon claims he was in the gym and it just didn't happen. But it's a lot more fun to pretend it did happen. So we're going to pretend it did happen. Cooper Flagg played one-on-one with Bradley Beal, gave him the business, talked that shit, and Bradley Beal got really upset about it. Does this change how you view Cooper Flagg in any significant way?
It not really, because I knew he had this in his game. Like we use the phrase "a kid who's got some shit to him." Cooper Flagg is one of those kids, and he has that type of ability. So it's not like, I'm not surprised by this. Like, I think he's a future NBA player, future Duke Blue Devil as well. So yeah, it is what it is. Funny to me that it was more funny to me the responses to it, like just to address those. Like one, Drew Hanlon, he'll go to any lengths to protect his clients that he works with. Like he's one of the biggest cap artists, I think, on the Twitter app, which I respect because like he's gonna ride for his boys. Like if it's Jason Tatum, if it's Embiid, if it's Brad Beal, he's gonna ride for his guys. I respect that. But let's not act like you don't have biases towards your guys. Like if Cooper Flagg did cook him, you would not admit to that. You would find a way around it to say some other way. But yeah, I like seeing the comments about it. Like one of my favorite ones was somebody quote tweeted that, the tweet with the story and said, "I need an Ancestry.com or 23andMe done on Cooper Flagg immediately. There's no way this boy is just fully from Maine."
Yeah, I mean, he's the coolest thing that's ever happened to Maine. I think that's fair to say. No offense to Maine. I've never been to Maine, but this is the one cool thing I've ever heard about Maine. I feel like Drew Hanlon missed the mark because if I'm Drew Hanlon in this spot, I would not rush to defend Bradley Beal. I would rush to get on Cooper Flagg's good side. I would want Cooper Flagg to be my next guy if I'm Drew Hanlon.
You've done your work with Brad Beal. You gotta get clients.
Yeah, he just seems a little behind the eight ball here. Also, this if you told me this happened, if you told me Cooper Flagg cooked an NBA player and talked that shit and the NBA player got upset about it, who is it? I think Bradley Beal would have been in my first 5 guesses. Like if you told me it's an all-star level guy, right? Not just like player, but if you would have told me like, hey, an NBA all-star got cooked by Cooper Flagg and is upset, I think I would have guessed it's Karl Towns, and then I probably would have guessed it's Bradley Beal.
Like Brad Beal's first team all sensitive.
I mean, it's just I'm excited to see what happens with him in Phoenix, I guess I would say, because I think between him and Kevin Durant, you got a lot of guys who are pretty needy emotionally.
Is it that bad that Cooper Flagg cooked Brad Beal?
For Brad Beal, it is, right? I mean, he's
initially
30.
like you think about it, like that's bad, but like I don't know. Like Cooper Flagg's really, really good. Yes, he's young. He's also 6'10".
Not supposed to be a 30-year-old losing to a 17-year-old though, right?
Yeah, that's true. Pride's got to kick in, but like also like Cooper Flagg is that.
Isn't it also more about the shit talking than just the beating? Like if Cooper Flagg was giving Bradley Beal the business and just kept his mouth shut, Brad might just be like, "Oh, damn, kid, nice." But like we don't know because we weren't in the gym.
Has
But
has Cooper Flagg said anything about this?
I don't think so.
We need a
But
statement.
yeah, we do need a statement. Our doors are open, Cooper, if you want to come give a statement on the Sleepers podcast. I know from experience with you, Cart, your energy has changed when you've been shit talked by someone who should not be shit talking you. I know that because I've done it to you at the wrong time before. And I don't want to wake up a beast in you sometimes. And I feel like Bradley Beal maybe woke up a little bit by this, but apparently he didn't though, because he never like there's no second half of the story where like Bradley Beal cooked Cooper Flagg back.
That is one thing. Like you don't want to talk. There's certain people like that will. If a 7-year-old and I was playing my cousin and like we were having a good time, he's like, "I'm busting your ass," like I'm turning it up. So I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get motivated. I think you and I are both good at that. We're big crack on our shoulder guys. We've said that before.
Yeah. Why crack instead of chip?
Because a crack doesn't go away.
Wow, that was a bar.
Chips come, they go. Cracks don't go away.
Crack's forever. We love crack.
We love Cooper Flagg also.
Facts.
I can't wait to watch him in
I just
college.
want to go on record like he's the best high school basketball prospect. Like I know AJ's really good. I like that. I don't know if you've seen the Caleb Williams kid. He's like that kind of like 6'9" late bloomer guy is like shot up to like top 5.
Does he paint his nails?
Yeah, he's really good as well.
He
But
does
like,
paint his nails?
no, he does not paint his nails. Sorry, I didn't hear that. You said nails?
I said, does he paint his nails?
Oh no, in my experience, what I've seen, he does not paint his nails.
Sorry,
like,
when I hear Caleb Williams, I just think paint your nails.
if Cooper Flagg starts painting his nails, where does that swing you?
Need to see what he paints them.
Just Maine.
If he had Maine on his fingers, I'm in. I'm all the way in.
Fuck Beal. Like
oh my God. Let's just move on before I get us canceled. Johnny Furphy has committed to Kansas. We did a video on Johnny Furphy a couple weeks ago. You can go back on the channel and watch that. I think we called him a secret superstar because we could tell he was kind of coming on the scene. We could tell he was going to play college somewhere. And from the tape we saw, we really liked it. Seems like a really high upside guy. He ends up at Kansas, which is a great place to end up. 1, because Kansas is a preseason top 3 team in the country. 2, because he might get real minutes on this team. Like the competition for him is guys who are expected to beat him out, but it's Nick Timberlake and potentially KJ Adams, and I guess we'll see Marco Jackson. Like, can he prove himself to be more important on the wing between the 2 and the 4 position to earn minutes? I think he potentially could. What do you make of this commitment? Does it swing? I think we know we like Furphy. Like, if you want to go back and watch our Furphy feels, you can watch the other video. But I'm more curious, like, does this addition to you change your outlook on Kansas? Do you elevate them in your preseason rankings or what they could be next season because they added Johnny Furphy?
Yeah, I think it elevates them in my preseason rankings. If I believe I was on record actually having Kansas as my number 1 team coming into the year, so I guess there's no way to really elevate it. But look, you get to this point of the season, get to this point of the preseason, you got an open scholarship, and sometimes when you have these open scholarships towards this time of the year, you're just filling in guys. Not to use a Michigan State example, but like we didn't have open scholarships. We went out there and we got Carson Cooper. And like Carson Cooper wasn't a guy that was recruited by a lot of high majors or anything like that. That's not the case with Furphy. Like all the Blue Bloods wanted Furphy. And at this point, they were able to add him. And he doesn't do anything to hurt this team. Like he's not going to come in and be able to hurt this team. If he plays extremely well, like that'll be awesome for Kansas. If maybe he's not playing as well as you think he does, I don't think it hurts Kansas necessarily. So I think it's a really good ad. I really like him. The comp for me is Matthew Meyer, and like just basketball wise, I think he's a Matthew Meyer type player. But his ceiling could be a lot higher than that. I think he has the skills to be a better player than that. If you told me in like, I don't know, after this year or something like that, or maybe 2 years, that Furphy's like a first round NBA draft pick, I would not be surprised. I think he could develop at that rate. And Bill Self has a good track record with like developing guys like that. Like Ochai, he did a great job developing. Jalen Wilson ended up being like a first team All American by the time he left, even though he's a pretty high recruit. Like Furphy could take that path.
Let me ask you this. Does Furphy, I think I know your answer after that comment, but does Furphy ever start at Kansas?
Yes.
But not this year, right? Like someday down the line, we think. Or do you think he starts this year at some point?
Hot take, if he's pretty good, like if he reaches his potential, I think, and like he shows some things, there's a world where he starts on this team.
I think there is too. I love the ad. Again, I have a lot of praise for Furphy that I've had since we talked about him 3 weeks ago. Where I think I differ from you is I don't see this as a super needle moving piece for Kansas, even though I love him, love his game. He's a great depth ad. Like having him in the rotation is awesome. It's better than some of their backup options right now. But to me, their season hinges on shooting. And do you buy Furphy's shot? Like, I think he can shoot, but I don't think he's like a step in and you feel like he can shoot 40% guy.
Yeah.
And that's not a, like, no disrespect to them or to him, but like when you build a team around Hunter Dickinson, I know this from experience as a Michigan fan, when you build a team around Hunter Dickinson and a point guard who doesn't like to shoot the ball and a four that can't shoot, you need guys that are more than just, oh, he can shoot a little bit. You need like, this guy's a sniper. No offense, but you need like a Grady Dick, or you need somebody. If he's not a lottery pick, fine, but you need somebody who's just a no-brainer make shots guy. And the only guy on this team on paper is Timberlake.
Yeah.
That's really scary to me because I don't buy Timberlake. Like, and Kansas fans will probably yell at me for that and say they really like him. I just don't. I think he's going to struggle from what I've seen on tape.
I kind of buy DeJuan Harris being like just a respectable enough 3-point shooter.
I'm buying DeJuan Harris in general. I actually think by the end of this year, DeJuan Harris is the best player on this team, and he's the guy who might get like the all Big 12 accolades and stuff.
Are we talking like DeJuan Harris Cousy Award winner?
I think there's a chance. I really do, because I think he's going to approach this year much differently than he has when he played next to Ochai and Jalen. Like I think he's going to come in this year as like, oh, I need to score. And I actually think he can score. He just needs to totally rewire the way he is mentally on that. So, yeah, I'm buying Harris individually. I'm just not buying. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not buying Kansas because I got him 4th in my preseason poll right now. But can I throw my hot take at you, though?
Go ahead.
I have Kentucky ahead of Kansas now.
That's a scorching one.
I have Kentucky ahead of Kansas because.
Where did you have Kentucky before? This goes back to your grading flips. Where do you have Kentucky before they got King Zvon?
Before they added Zvon Ivisic, I had Kentucky around 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that, they add a player who can be extremely okay. Yeah.
They added, I think Ivisic is going to be a one and done star. That's what I'm expecting from him. One of the most talented centers in college basketball is my prediction. If I'm wrong on that, then it's going to look crazy because their season completely falls apart if Ivisic isn't ready for that from day one. But if he's what I think he is, I'm buying Wagner and Edwards and Reeves. I've already said Reeves can be a 20 points a game guy. I'm really buying that team with a good center and Trey Mitchell alongside more than I am a team built around Hunter Dickinson. I'm sorry. The more I think about it, I had to go on the Heat Check. I shouldn't say had. I love going on it, but I was on the Heat Check podcast, and I had to explain why a team with Hunter Dickinson usually underachieves. And the more I started saying it out loud, I'm like, this is the team. Like Hunter Dickinson is the reason everybody has his team number 1 in the country cart. Have we not been through this twice already? Like, you don't see any world where the wheels just fall off for a team that's best player is supposed to be Hunter Dickinson at Kansas.
No, because of Bill Self.
I respect that. I love Bill.
He'll retire before he lets the wheels fall off.
You're right. I guess wheels fall off in Kansas terms is just like finished second in the Big 12.
Second in the Big 12. Still win the Big 12 tournament, but second in the regular season.
Yeah. I'm just saying more like Isn't there a world where this team pretty clearly isn't the best team in the country? Like, I feel like people are penciling them in as a no-brainer. It's Kansas. Hunter. Hunter has imploded 2 straight years,
There's a
man.
lot. There is question. So there's a world like you, Timberlake. I'm more in on him than you are. I think he's crazy shooter, but at the same time, you gotta recognize like it's an up transfer. This isn't Townsend. I believe you went to before. Like this isn't Townsend.
I just got shivers.
Up transfer. Sorry, I know that does. Year one of up transfers can be kind of scary sometimes.
Scary. Yeah, like I guess bring it back to Furphy. Love Johnny Furphy. It's a great ad. I think he has picked a great spot. I have no doubt at some point he's an impact player for Kansas. I hope it's this year because I like him as a player more than I like Nick Timberlake. I just am fearful that if he does have to take Timberlake's spot, I think that team does not have nearly enough shooting, and that scares me.
Yeah. See, but like okay, last thing on this. A lineup, and this is, with guys like Timberlake knocking down shots, a lineup of Dwan Harris, let's say Elmarco Jackson, Timberlake, Furphy at the 4, Dickinson at the 5. Like if guys can knock down shots, I really like that lineup a lot.
Now I love that spin. If we're playing Furphy at the 4 instead of KJ Adams, love this.
Yes. KJ Adams off the bench. Yeah.
Okay, they're back. they're not 5th anymore. They're back up to 2 for me. Changed it. I'm in. Congratulations to Johnny Furphy. Congratulations to Kansas fans. You guys will be fun to watch all season long. And Hunter Dickinson, miss you, buddy.
Are we back in good graces with Kansas fans?
I don't think we can be until maybe. I don't. We need someone publicly to adopt us and endorse us from Kansas. That hasn't happened. All Kansas fans know about us is that Jalen Wilson hates us, Braden Turner hates us, and Hunter Dickinson has gone silent on us. We're going to talk about him either way. We'll see. Okay. From one team that we like talking about to the team we love talking about most, Cart. Illinois is headed to Spain today. Brad Underwood and team are probably on a cross-continental flight right now. They had their final practices yesterday. It seemed like they opened up their practice stuff to the media for the first time because I saw a lot of coverage from multiple different Illinois outlets that we enjoy interacting with.
Did you see the flight videos though?
No.
So like the whole team went first class, and like Ty Rodgers like went to the attendant, was like, I don't want to go in first class. I want to be in coach. Like that's where I need to be. I need to be a leader.
Yeah, the sad part is I totally buy that. I still don't know if you're kidding or not. It seems real.
I'm talking shit.
In the process of this, it seemed like every player was in front of a microphone for a little bit, and we got a lot of individual clips. So I'll just open it up broadly to you. Of course, Brad also was in front of a microphone for like 20 minutes, which is great. Anytime you can listen to Brad Underwood, you should. What is your biggest takeaway or biggest takeaways from your early observations of Illinois' practices?
So I'm not sure if we watched the same clip. I actually watched it. It was like 20 minutes of like open practice footage. There was a good amount of like stuff in there. And, it wasn't just like guys making shots. It was like a lot of bit of everything, which I enjoyed. The main takeaway that I came away with is that I think we might be undervaluing what Quincy Guerrier can do for this team. I think for starters, one, he looked like he was in great shape. Like he looked like he was looking really good. Pause. God, I can't say that anymore. He was in great shape. He was doing a lot of things, both defensively and offensively. And like he popped off the page or off the video when I was watching that practice footage. Him and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn were the two guys I left impressed with.
Can I interrupt? I love interrupting you. You know this. I'm sorry. You deal with it so gracefully. He popped off the screen. We're using that phrase. Guerrier popped off the screen
in a practice footage where everyone was basically on the floor except for Marcus Damask. I found myself noticing him the most.
Wow. Okay. I watched the same footage as you, and I did not feel that at all. He was like a footnote on mine, so I'm surprised by that. DGL 100% agree. That was where I was going to start with. Like I would use the phrase popped off the screen. Absolutely. He's so loudly good and bad in his moments. He is loud. He screams at you when he plays basketball. He's good. He's talented. Guerrier just is like a pick and pop shooter who, when he gets the ball, he shoots it. That popped off the screen?
He wasn't just doing that though. He was going to the and I really don't want to underestimate that he looked like he was in great shape. I thought he looked a little
Okay.
bigger last year at Oregon. He looks like he's in great shape.
Okay. I guess I wasn't expecting him to be out of shape when he committed to Illinois.
He was a little. I think he was a little on the heavier side of Oregon.
Okay. You all right? What's going on here?
I don't know. I got like something going on with my leg. I don't know.
Are we losing a leg? Are we losing?
No, I think I'll be okay.
Okay. I mean, I'd talk about Illinois for 5 minutes. Say Quincy Gary, it popped off the screen. Now you pop off a leg. That's wild.
Sorry, my fault. My fault.
No, you're good. Let's talk Gibbs Lawhorn, because I think he's the most interesting piece of this to Illinois fans, and to me, certainly. He is the most talented guard on this roster. I'm willing to say that right now. He's the only guy shaped like a guard on this roster that I think has real hopes of being an NBA player. Ty Rodgers was supposedly the point guard. He got public endorsement of that. He publicly said it himself when he was telling everyone how bad of a person Sky Clark and Jaden Epps and Matthew Meyer were. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn looks like the point guard of this team to me from all the footage that I'm seeing. And I think, that's a good development for Illinois because I like that on paper better than Ty.
Yeah, and it makes me proud that I didn't ever sell my Dre Gibbs Lawhorn stock either. I just want to know I staked my claim to that early. But yes, like he did show a lot of things in that practice clip. Like you could see the scoring ability with him. He looks very quick. He's definitely on the smaller size, I will say, smaller size side, I will say. But he is, able to get his shot off. Just give me a break, G.
Is it small? Were you trying to say smaller size or smaller side, though? I'm just curious.
To be honest, I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm just keep on going here.
Yeah, keep going.
Well, I couldn't help but notice, like, out of everyone's practice jersey, his looked the biggest. Let's just say that. Like, that too was draping on him. But he was able to get to the basket. He has some pretty good finishes as well, like over taller defenders, So I think that you saw the offensive, like, package that he has and what he brings as a point guard to this team. And, positive Illinois spin here. You have Ty Rodgers, okay, who's maybe that big pass, can't really shoot point guard. And then you got the Gibbs Lawhorn point guard, who's a change of pace, who could be the guy who is scoring and looking to score and maybe creating on the side, but not necessarily like his mindset is create first. Is there a world where like that works like kind of in tandem maybe? Like you need a different look, like you go to Ty, you want another look, you go to Gibbs Lawhorn. Like, can you see that happening?
Kind of. I don't know what you do with Ty. I think that's the thing I'm most curious about for Illinois is like, can they find a way to use him successfully? And if they are using him successfully, is he a 30-minute guy? Is he a starter? What is he? Because he's a super awesome, like, prospect, right? Like, he's like a creative player. Like, you like a guy that's that tall, that is theoretically going to be that strong and athletic, who can pass. If he just adds a jumper, there's so much to like. He could be all defense, all this stuff. He's a creative player. But then you get into the game and you're like, okay, he has to have the ball in his hands because he doesn't work playing off the ball. So if you put the ball in his hands every time, is he good enough to have the ball in his hands every time? Like, is he really a guy on a good team that you want having the ball every possession? I don't know. He could be. I don't know. If he is, I don't think you're utilizing Gibbs Lawhorn properly, though, because I think Gibbs Lawhorn should be on the ball. So it's one of those fascinating things. Like, again, I keep coming back to the Nogel Eastern comparison. We saw it happen with Nogel, where, like, over time, everyone sort of dropped the expectations of he can be an all-conference point guard. And we're just like, no, he's a really great defender who's a role player. To me, I think that's where Ty Rodgers settles in. If it happens at Illinois for a good team, a good version of Illinois, I think that's what he ends up looking like more than starting point guard Ty Rodgers, which is good because it does open the door for a guy like future Carson Edwards 2.0, Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, who the most impressive thing for him with me right now, you said he's small. He is. He got downhill so successfully for how small he is.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me. I didn't expect that to be part of his game right away. So I think Illinois should go all in on Dre. That's my take right now. I think Dre would agree with that. Again, we alluded to it earlier in the show, but there's a lot of public back and forth right now. Ty's endorsing Dre publicly. Dre's retweeting Ty's endorsement publicly. Meanwhile, Terrence Shannon's endorsing Luke Goody as the best shooter in the conference. Just a lot.
I got something to say.
What do you got?
Because this is my other takeaway that I had on my list of things I want to get off here. I love Luke Goody. Okay, I want to stake my claim right now. Luke Goody is a guy who can shoot 40% from three. Luke Goody is a ginger. Luke Goody would die for the I in ILL. Okay, in the time when he isn't grinding on the court, he's fishing, and if he's not fishing, he's in the gym. I'm buying all the Luke Goody stock. I just want to let them be known.
Because he's fishing when he's not hooping?
I love his mindset.
Are you buying Will Shetter too?
No, because Will Shetter stinks.
We know that Luke Goody doesn't stink.
Okay. My last spinoff question here. You get your starting five right now. You're Illini. And I do say you're Illini. This is your Illini starting five. We got the first game of the season next week. What five are you putting out there?
So you're asking me if I'm Daddy Brad, if I put myself in Daddy Brad's
If you're
shoes.
your dad, who are you playing?
I dream about this all the time, for the record. Well, first of all, I would have some pregame meetings with my son, my brother, Tyler, and I would really take to heart his influence here. I think Tyler should have a very strong say in this, but without talking to Tyler, my answer would be Dre Gibbs Lawhorn at the point. I'm going to jump around and just go the pieces I know. Coleman Hawkins somewhere in the front court. Dane Danger at center, so Coleman at the 4. I'm going Terrence Shannon on the wing. And I think I need shooting around them. So I'm going to go Luke Goody. I'm going to go Terrence Shannon, Luke Goody around Dre and the front court.
Interesting.
I want the mask off the bench. I want to keep him in a small role. I want Guerrier off the bench in a snipe role. I want Harmon off the bench. He's the backup guard. And I feel really, really good about that. Ty Rodgers, I don't know where you put him, but
you did mention to me though that you like what you saw from Harmon too as well, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's always interesting when you watch any like extended footage of teams like this, like who's running together, what are the groups? Mm-hmm. And I do think it was notable that Harmon was with DGL and they were also with, I think it was Shannon, Coleman, and Luke Goody. I think that was the group, if I'm remembering it right.
Maybe I thought Coleman and Ty were on the same team.
Maybe I'm messing it up then.
I don't know. They could have also switched like mid practice too.
Yeah, from what I saw, Harmon played with DGL though, and I liked that tandem together. I think you can play those guys together. Harmon has more stuff than I was willing to give him credit for. But I think it's really good. It appears they're not even really trying to have Harmon come in and like be the do-it-all point guard, and that's good. I'm glad they're not wasting time saying Harmon's a 30-minute guy at point guard, because that would flame out and it would not go well. If they can give him a smaller role, if they can play him at the 2 a little bit, I think he's a really good depth add. And yeah, I think he's a contributor in a way I didn't expect right away. I wish Damask played because he's a really needle-moving piece here too, right? Like, a lot of people think he's the starting 3 on this team.
Is he playing in Spain?
I don't know. He's got to get healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. They probably don't play him. There's no reason to. Even if he has a nagging injury, you don't play him.
Yeah. Underwood's not coaching in Spain. That's the other thing. He's just going to sit with a notepad. He should sit with a scotch, for the record. If I'm Brad, I would, or a little glass of vino or something. Kick back.
What's Spain? A little sangria.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So all in all, though, like, okay, summarize. I'm more in on Illinois after seeing the practices.
I would say I am too.
Yeah, I would put them right now 3rd in the conference. Although Maryland also has looked good in their overseas stuff.
Yeah, they have. I don't know if I'm going as high as 3, but like I guess I had them. I can't remember where I had them originally. I think it was like 6. Yeah, maybe 6. I think I got them top 4 now.
I would give them, I'd give them my Ohio State spot. I've been saying Maryland and Ohio State are 3 and 4. Yeah. I would give Illinois Ohio State.
Is Ohio State going on an overseas tour?
I don't know.
All right, I need to tap into that if they are.
Yeah, big
But
Buckeye.
before we move on, I do want to give my Illinois 5. I think you'll
Oh,
enjoy it.
sorry, I didn't come
No,
back to you.
no, you're good. I'm the one who asked you about Harmon. I just want to make sure you got, because I know we talked about the video like on the side, so I just want to make sure that was out in the world. Because I agree with it. Now this is my 5, and people know who have listened to previous Sleepers episodes know how I construct lineups. It's different. Okay, so this is what we're going with. We're going Dre Gibbs Lawhorn. We're going Goody at the 2. We're going Ty Rodgers at the 3. We're going Terrence Shannon at the 4. Coleman Hawkins at the 5.
You're benching Danger Zone?
I'm bringing Danger off the bench.
Wow, I don't think Dane's gonna like that.
We'll talk about it.
So somebody's gonna be unhappy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. I like Coleman at the 5 though. You got to play that lineup at least sometimes.
do you like me? You like Terrence Shannon at the 4?
I think Terrence Shannon is better closer to the 4 than he is.
I'm not gonna lie.
closer
That
to the
lineup,
one.
special. That lineup is getting to the second weekend of the tournament.
You trust Ty that much?
Hmm?
You trust Ty that much, really?
I do.
Okay.
I trust Ty in that role. Yes.
See, I'd rather. Can I go crazy? Burn the world down?
Ty off the bench.
I would rather go Ty and Terrence Shannon at the 5 and the 4 than Ty.
Terrence Shannon's at the 5.
I'd rather play Ty at center and Shannon at the 4 than I would rather play Ty at the 3.
That's good. That's crazy. I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
Ty is 6'5".
My hottest take after seeing everything, I feel strongly confident in this one, Cart. Ty Rodgers starts game 1. He does not start game 30.
I can't get on board with that hot take.
Yeah, I know. You're still holding a lot of Ty stock.
Ty Rodgers will start every single game for the Illini.
There's also
I don't know what position it's going to be, but he's going to start every game that he's healthy in.
He's going to start every press conference. That's for sure. He will make sure he's in front of the cameras for the post game, praising everybody. We'll see if that continues into December if he's averaging 2-2 again. There also is very much a world where like Ty starts the season, DGL is off the bench, then it flips, and then DGL starts playing poorly, and everybody blames DGL, and it flames out, and then Ty comes back into it. Like there's so many possibilities for drama with this team. I'm like getting giddy over here. You can see my smile right now.
The mean girls of college basketball.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to be back in Champaign this year. It's gonna be fun. All right. Congrats, Illinois fans. Good luck in Spain. Good luck to Brad Underwood. Good luck to Tyler Underwood, Daddy Brad. And just stay far away from Ann Arbor. I don't need any more losses for a while, Illinois. Let's end the show with one big thing presented by Bigby. I have a nice iced Bigby coffee today. Once again, Cart's not happy with the amount of ice. It's melted. I've had it for 2 hours. But this is an iced Americano. Love a good iced Americano from Bigby.
Are you a slow coffee? You're a sipper, aren't you?
I mean, I'm not just going to chug this on camera. And I took my first sip.
No, you don't have to chug it on camera. But I'm saying like certain coffee drinkers, there's like chuggers and like sippers. Like it, goes faster.
If I got a tall iced coffee from Bigby, the over-under on me finishing that iced coffee is 95.5 minutes.
Damn. No, I'd finish that in like 30 max.
Okay. Impressive. Built different.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'll start off here. My one big thing presented by Bigby, of course, is that this, I guess, is a take. Donuts are extremely overrated. Like, I'd much rather have a bagel over a donut. Like, I don't want a donut first thing in the morning with breakfast or anything like that. Like, I'll bring donuts to, like, the guys who work in the warehouse for me because they love donuts, but, like, I don't want a donut first thing in the morning. I'd much rather have a bagel, and I don't even think it's close.
I don't hate that take, although I'd be curious, like, where are you getting your donuts from? Like, what donut was the donut to ruin your experience?
Well, I mean, this is not a slight at all, but there's a place in Detroit on Woodward. I think it's 8 and Woodward. Dutch Girl Donuts. It's a staple of Detroit. Unreal donuts. Like, don't get me wrong, great donuts. But I don't want a donut. Like, a donut's a dessert. I want a bagel. I don't want a donut in the morning.
I respect that take. I don't have any qualms with that. Yeah.
More specifically, a turkey Havarti bagel from Bigby. Ooh, on everything.
I've never had Bigby food. Do I need to get tapped in with Bigby food?
Go there, and either get the breakfast sandwich, you can construct it, or get a turkey Havarti bagel on
Why?
everything bagel.
Why do you keep calling it a bagel?
That's what they call it, a bagel.
Why? What is it?
It's like it's not a breakfast sandwich because it's like there's turkey on it and Havarti cheese and everything bagel, and they call it a bagel.
So it's supposed to be a breakfast bagel.
But it's not breakfast though.
But why? Like, I'm trying to understand why it's called a bagel. Are they combining breakfast and bagel?
Ask our Big B rep. I don't know.
We might need a new sponsor for one big thing. If that's bagel, we're going bagel now.
Wait till you have one.
Yeah, I'll have to try one. I'm willing to try one. I was fluctuating between a couple different options for one big thing today. Thought I would really just know in the moment where I want to go with this, and
got a lot of big things on your mind.
Kind of. I don't like. Do I want to go real? Do I want to go funny? I got a couple different options here. Do I want to go gambling? One of them's gambling. I'm gonna go real. I'm just gonna go honest. So Cart knows this already, but I was on the 10th fairway yesterday and got a phone call from my wife. Which any man who golfs who has a wife and a child knows that if you get a phone call during your golf round, that's probably not a good thing. So I answer the phone, and all I hear on the other end is like hyperventilating, crying. My daughter's 10 weeks old, so I'm freaking out. I'm like, what? Like, what? I'm like probably screaming what on the fairway. Come to find out, just a little fender bender. Wife got hit in the car by a different driver. It was all the other driver's fault. Just bumped into the back of her car. Daughter's totally fine. Wife is totally fine. But she was calling me like right as it happened because the other driver like hit and ran, like just drove away. So she was waiting for the cops to get there. But let me just say, like, there's probably people listening to this that might know this already. Holy shit, the level of fear and paranoia that I felt in that moment is a sensation I have never ever felt until being a father, and it's so scary. Like I've had a smooth first 10 weeks, but like that moment totally redefined like, oh my God, if something ever happened to this being, like I would just break. And now I have to live with the weight of like, I'm terrified that's going to happen again. Like it is so scary. And I just need to say that out loud. So I also didn't finish my 18, which is sickening.
Jesus, Greg. And you were also 3 punting, which didn't help.
I was playing.
I'm glad Mal and obviously Murph are okay. But last thing here, there is no hit and run on a sleeper wife, and like you think you're good, you're in the clear. We're gonna find you, my baby. All right, I'll be imported soon, and it's fucking on.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Know.
Appreciate that. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for Riley Fridays. Riley Davis from Heat Check is joining the show once again to take over, and we don't know where it'll go. It's been a great week. Appreciate all the support. Keep the comments coming. We love our comment section, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great Thursday, everybody.